We're going to start in a seated position today. So I want you to get whatever you have chosen to sit on, either a firm cushion or a towel. I'm just using a folded up beach towel. And sit right up to the edge of your towel or cushion. And what you do with your legs is your choice. You can crisscross. You can have them out in front. I'm keeping my Uggs on for now because I'm in my garage and it's cold here. Or you can have a straight leg. So you can choose what you do with your legs, but I want you to scooch your sit bones all the way to the edge of your towel or bolster so that your hips are almost spilling off the edge, okay? So most of us, when we sit on the floor, we end up kind of coming into a position like this, with this rounded position. When we sort of tilt our pelvis forward, we come into a more neutral pelvis, and it's a lot easier to be very grounded through your bottom half and more light and buoyant through the top half. So I want you to find that positioning in your pelvis. It's a neutral positioning with your sit bones just barely spilling off the edge of your towel or cushion. And find a comfortable shape for your legs. And then slowly come into stillness and shut down your eyes. Let your hands rest lightly on your knees. And I want you to begin to rub your hands back and forth over your thighs. And just bring your awareness to how that feels. So the hand rubbing over the thighs, the feel of your skin or pants underneath your hand, maybe even the development of some heat between the hand and thigh. And just creating that body awareness here. And then allowing those hands to come to stillness and stay connected with the feeling of that warmth. Maybe even the tingling of the hands now that you've stopped the friction of the hands over the thigh. And bring your awareness more inward, more introspectively in this moment. Begin to deepen your breath. Just little bits at a time. Each inhale, take in just a little bit more air. And each exhale, discover new bottom, new depths of your exhale. You take another couple of breaths, just kind of finding that full breath in silence. One of the beauties of practicing yoga in this virtual form is we may not be sharing our physical space as we usually do, but we are sharing and contributing to a community of energy. And so it cultivates community in a different way using our energy. We're going to take some community breaths here. I want you to inhale fully, all the way to the top, and then exhale, sigh it out, open mouth. Seal the mouth, inhale for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top, exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom, inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue with this counted breath. Feel free to elongate or shorten your count. I want you to do 3 rounds on your own. After your 3rd round, keep your breaths full, but release the count. Blink open your eyes. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Look up, watch them connect. Exhale, bring your hands down through heart center. Inhale, reach up, sweep your arms up, look up, exhale, heart center. Complete 3 more salutations on your own, using your breath, making that connection of mind and body with your breath as the through line. After your 3rd one, you'll pause with your hands at heart center. Pull your shoulders down your back. Lift your elbows slightly. On your exhales, push your hands together. Inhale, release the hands. Exhale, push the hands together. Feel your chest muscles ignite. Exhale, release, rest period. 3 more on your own. Exhale, pressure. Inhale, release. Twice more. After your 3rd one, open up your arms into cactus arms or goalpost arms. As you exhale, you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together and then inhale, release. So you'll feel the engagement, exhale, squeeze, engagement at the back, broadening of the chest, inhale, release. 3 more times using your own breath here. After your 3rd one, release your hands to your knees. Drop your right hand just behind your hip. Inhale the left arm up. And exhale, twist to the right, bringing your left hand to the outside of the right knee. I want you to think long through the crown of the head. So try not to get into any kind of rounded position here. Use a little bit of leverage of the hand on the knee, but also use the toning in the low belly to get that belly button to twist to the right. And then maybe you look over the right shoulder. Couple breaths here. Each inhale, I want you to think long spine. Each exhale, I want you to think maybe twisting a little bit further. And then slowly unwind. Bring both hands to your knees and just some seated cat-cows before we twist to the other side. So exhaling, rounding the spine, tucking the chin, tucking the tail under. Inhale, broadening the chest, looking up, pushing the tailbone back. Exhale. Inhale. One more. Exhale. Inhale. Good. Find a neutral spine. Left hand drops to the mat just behind your left hip. Inhale the right hand up. Exhale, twist to the left, bringing your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Again, keep that broadening of the chest, long spine. Use your abdominal muscles to twist from the belly button. And then maybe looking over the left shoulder. Remembering each inhale, commit to that long spine. Each exhale, maybe getting a little bit more of a twist. One more breath here. And then slowly unwind. Hands to knees, cat-cow. Exhale, rounding, pulling the tail under, tucking the chin. Inhale, broadening, looking up, tailbone back. One more of each. Finding a neutral spine. Okay, and maybe readjusting on whatever you're sitting on to make sure you've got that neutral hip. Bring your right hand, your right arm underneath the left, and maybe that's where you stay with the backs of your hands together. Perhaps you can get all the way so that your palms are touching. Okay, you find what's right for you and your body in this moment. So these are eagle arms. I want you to pull in your belly button. Stay strong through your core. And then think about pulling your arm bone into the shoulder socket and also raising the forearms just a little bit. Feel the opening in the back here. Keep the belly in, toned for support. And then exhale, release. And switch sides. So now the left arm is underneath, right arm is on the top. Again, backs of the hands together is fine, or palms together. Pull the belly in, pull the arm bones into their socket, and then lift the forearms. Your gaze will be right through your forearms. Use your breath to stay in your body here. Releasing nice and slow. One more round of seated cat-cow, rounding the spine, exhaling here, broadening the chest, inhaling here. Let's do one more. And then finding a neutral spine. This is where a strap or some kind of connection between your hands might come in handy. So whatever you're using for a strap, drape it over your right shoulder. And then take your left hand and reach behind, and I'm gonna kind of change views here so you can see. So I'm taking that left hand and reaching behind and grabbing the strap. And then I'm gonna take my right hand and reach back and grab that strap. Okay, so now my hands look like this behind me. Okay, these are cow-facing arms. Okay. So again, sit nice and tall here. Pull the belly in and inch your hands closer together. And then keep your head back. Try not to get into this position where the chin juts forward. So pull that head back. And again, take it slow here. This is a lot to ask of your shoulders. So we just want to warm up nice and slowly. And then maybe as you sit here for a couple more breaths, you might find, oh, I can inch a little bit closer with my hands. And that elbow, try to have it pointed up as much as possible without arching the back. So keep that belly in, shoulders down. Hang on to this for just a couple more breaths. Good, slowly coming out of that, releasing the hands from both sides. Just some shoulder rolls back and then forward. Good. Let's switch sides. So take the strap and drape it over the left shoulder this time. And then take that right hand, reach back behind, grab the strap. And then the left arm is going to come up overhead. Grab that strap, okay? And before you inch your hands together, pull the belly in. So try not to let the arching of the back happen. Keep that belly in, and then maybe you can inch your hands together, okay? And then again, just a reminder, try not to let that head or chin jut forward. Keep that chin tucked and that elbow pointed up as much as you can manage in this position. Stay in your body here, especially if this feels uncomfortable, right? That's a good time to really sort of take inventory of how you feel here. Remembering that any sharp pain is a hard no. You come out of a position if you feel that. But a stretch or a slight uncomfortableness is a yes in yoga. One more breath. And then slowly releasing out of that. You can take the strap and just move it off to the side. And then one more round of cat-cow, rounding the spine, tucking the tail, broadening the chest. One more of each. Good, finding a neutral spine. So wherever you are with your legs, now I want you to take the soles of your feet and bring them together. Grab your ankles, give yourself a little bit of leverage here to straighten your spine, okay? Now this might be enough for you, in which case stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, you can take your elbows and start to lean forward from the chest and push the elbows into the thighs. So take this slow, keep your spine long, shoulders down the back. Couple breaths here. Hi, Cheryl. All right, if you folded forward a little bit there, come out of that, take your right leg and extend it forward, bring the left sole of your foot to the inner right thigh. Okay, again, sitting nice and tall. I want you to engage your right leg. So think about the kneecap pulling up the leg, okay? And now I want you to rotate your torso so you're over your right leg. Inhale fully, and then exhale. Begin to fold over that right leg. Now I want you to prioritize a long spine here. I will let you eventually round the back, but each inhale, think long spine. Each exhale, think maybe a little bit more forward fold. Couple more breaths with that long spine. Keeping that right leg engaged. Now you may round the spine and begin to bring your head or chin closer to your thigh. So allow yourself to round a bit here, keeping that right leg engaged. So allow your body to melt into this. Use your breath. And then slowly coming out and switching sides. So now left leg is going to extend out long. Right sole of the foot coming to the inner left thigh. Okay. Sit nice and tall. Rotate your torso so that it's over your left leg, and then engage that left leg. So pull the kneecap up the leg. Inhale fully. Exhale as you begin to fold over the left leg. Again, maintain that long spine. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Couple more breaths like that. On your next exhale, round the spine, let the forehead and chin come closer to the shin or knee, and let your body drape over the left leg, but keeping that left leg engaged. Couple breaths here. And then slowly walking yourself upright, releasing both legs long out in front and giving them a little bounce, knees up and down. Good. Okay. Plant both of your feet flat on the ground and plant them about shoulder width apart. So they're fairly wide here. If you have blocks, you might find blocks handy. You'll put the blocks, if you're using them, you don't have to have them. You'll put them just behind you, behind your hips, okay? Blocks or no blocks, you're gonna lean back a little bit and plant your hands. I want you to think nice long spine. On an exhale, you're gonna let both knees fall to the left and your right hip will come up. And then inhale to center. Exhale, let them fall to the right, left hip will come up. Inhale, center. Exhale, fall to the left. I'm gonna let you now find your own pace. Use your breath, connect breath and body. And just feel the movement in the hips, the stretch that you find as the knees fall from one side to the other. Let's do one more each side. And if you found that you kind of inched your way forward doing that, you were doing them correctly. All right. Okay, we're gonna come into all fours now. So a tabletop position. If you're someone who might like a little extra padding under the knees, you can double up your mat. If you're using one, you can also use your towel that you were using underneath your knees. Okay. Find a tabletop position and take a moment to put your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. And let's move through some cat-cows on all fours. So inhale fully. Exhale, round the back, tuck the tail and chin. Inhale, sag the belly, push the hips back, broaden through the chest. Exhale. Inhale. I want you to move through about 3 or 4 more cat and cows using your own breath. Take this time to shut down the eyes and take a little bit of an inventory of how your body feels as you articulate your spine and your hips and even your shoulders a bit. So just take a moment to feel how this feels in your body. Pausing with a neutral spine, I want you to take your hands just slightly forward of your shoulders. We're going to keep this dynamic. You're going to shift the hips back and then come forward, push the hips forward into a cobra. Shift the hips back and then shift the hips forward as you broaden the chest. So take this slow, find the range of motion that works for you. One more. And then finding tabletop position, sliding your hands back underneath your shoulders. I'm gonna turn this way. Inhale the right hand high, follow with your eyes, open the chest. Exhale, you're gonna thread the needle and follow your hand with your eyes, drop your shoulder, and then inhale back up. So we're gonna keep this dynamic. Exhale, thread the needle, watch with your eyes. Inhale, open up, look up. 2 more. You'll end on an inhale, opening up, looking up. Exhale, plant the hand back down. Switch sides to your left. Start with an inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, thread the needle, follow that hand with your eye. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, thread the needle. Twice more, using your breath. And you'll end on an inhale. Exhale, plant the hand. Okay. I want you to think about pulling the belly button up and in towards the spine here to create support. Okay. You're going to bring one knee up off the ground and you're going to create some circles, moving clockwise to start with. So our hip joint is a ball and socket joint. It has the ability to move in this nice circular motion. And again, take your range of motion slow. As you start to feel good, maybe you increase that range of motion, drawing that circle with your knee. Switch the direction. Try to keep your hips square to the mat underneath you, so try not to let that right hip open up. Keep that belly pulled in tight. And one more. Let that knee drop and push back into child's pose. You can stay on all fours if child's pose is not comfortable, just for a brief pause. And then inhaling back up to all fours. And let's do the hip circles with the left leg now. So starting with clockwise, pull the belly in, start small, and work your way to larger, if that's in your practice today. Try not to open that left hip up. Pull those shoulders down the back. And change the direction of your circles now. One more. And then let that left knee come down. Just a brief child's pose before we move on. Inhaling back up to all fours. Take your right leg and extend it out to the side. So I'm kind of in this one leg long out to the right, okay? Now, let your hips shift back and then come to neutral. So again, take your range of motion slowly. You might be able to go all the way back into more of like a child's pose with your left side. You can also play around with coming up over the hands into more extension of the hips. So you're just rocking those hips back and forth. You should feel a pretty big stretch on the inner right thigh. Keep that belly in just a bit to give you some structure and support, stability. Let's take one more rock back and forward. And then bringing that knee back underneath you and switching sides. So the right leg is now out to the right, sorry, left leg, excuse me. And then shift the hips back and forward. Again, taking that range of motion slow. Keep that nice fullness of your breath. Try not to let those shoulders creep up towards your ears. And let's take one more rock forward and back. And then bring that knee underneath you. All right, we're gonna bring the right leg forward. So that right foot's gonna be forward. We're gonna come up into a half kneeling position. I'm actually gonna change directions. There we go, okay. So in this position, you might feel a little wobbly if that's the case. Make sure that there is some space between your back knee and your front foot. That will give you stability, and really there should be at least a hip width distance between the two. Okay, so now I want you to think about pulling your right hip back and your left hip forward. So we're essentially squaring the hips to the front of your mat. And then I want you to take your tailbone and stretch it it down towards the mat, okay? Now this should give you a good stretch just here in your left leg, that hip flexor, okay? I want you to scoot your front foot slightly forward of your knee, okay? As you inhale, shift your hips forward and raise your arms up overhead. And then your exhale, come back to neutral. Again, take your range of motion slow. Inhale, sweep your arms up, look up maybe. Exhale, back down. Again, inhale, sweep them up, pull the belly in. Exhale, back down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Good. This time we're going to inhale up and stay up. Okay. And I want you to grab your left wrist with your right hand. And on an exhale, bend to the right. So my hands are reaching overhead and they're reaching to my right. And then inhale back to center. So exhale, bend to the right. Inhale to center. One more time. Exhale, bend. Inhale to center. Good. Bring your hands back down and put them on your hips. Okay. I want you to think about your belly button moving from side to side. So I'm going to open up my hips and then close my hips. I'm going to allow my hips to open here as I open up to the mirror, and then I'm going to scissor my legs and try to get them to close and turn my belly button to the right and then to the left. So use that breath to help you move here. Coming to neutral, let's switch legs. So plant your hands, swing that right leg back, and then left leg plants in front. Okay, and then coming back up. So making sure that you've got some distance between the foot and the knee, and then making sure that front foot is slightly forward of your knee. Okay. Now again, square those hips up to the front of your mat. So left hip's going to pull back, right hip forward, and then stretch your tailbone down to the ground. Inhale, reach up, shift your weight forward, maybe look up. Exhale, release. Continue. Inhale. Exhale. Twice more. And then come all the way down here. Come up one more time and pause with your hands overhead. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. As you exhale, reach over to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, reach over to the left. Inhale, center. Twice more. And then release the hands from above. Bring them to your hips and open up the hips to the right. And then scissor those legs and get the hips to close. Open up the hips to the right. And then scissor those legs. Twice more of those rotations. And then place your hands back down to the mat. Coming into all fours one more time. And let's lift the right leg back behind you. So this is the beginning of a bird dog. I want you to flex your foot in the back so those toes are pulled towards your shin. So you're actively reaching through the heel. Pull the belly in and feel your glute and hamstring working here. You may stay here or extend the left hand forward, okay? Keep that belly in, shoulders pulled down the back. Think long through the crown of the head and release. Switch sides. So let's start with the leg first. Left leg lifts. Flex the foot in the back, actively reaching through the heel. Square the hips off to the ground. Pull the belly in and shoulders down the back. Stay here or reach forward with the right arm. release. Again, other side. Come right into it, whether you're just using the leg or adding in the arm. Find your full expression, and then release, switch sides. Come right into it, switch sides. We're gonna do one more each side. And then one more round of cat-cow. Exhale, round the back, tuck the tail and chin. Inhale, sag the belly, broaden the chest. One more. We're gonna come back into a seated position so you can cross your heels or however. Coming back into a seated position. I would like you to sit on something. We won't be here super long, but I want you to feel like you are fully grounded through your bottom half and buoyant through the top half. So settle yourself. Hands lightly resting on your knees. And then close your eyes. Reconnect. Use your breath to help make a union between mind and body. Be in your body here, cultivating presence and awareness. And just for a moment, be in stillness and in quiet. Blink the eyes open. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over. Watch them connect. Exhale, heart center. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more times on your own breath. After your third one, meet me in heart center. We're going to come onto our back now. So you'll release whatever it is you're sitting on. Make sure your strap is somewhat handy. And then just roll your spine down onto the mat, nice and slowly. We're going to start with some bridges. So feet are about hip to shoulder width apart. And you're going to scoot those heels in as close to your sit bones as you feel comfortable with. Keep your arms stretched down like they're trying to reach your heels. And then lift your hips up, pushing down through the heels. And pause for a moment at the top. I want you to think long through the neck. So try not to have compression in the neck. And then make sure that those knees are pulled together a little bit. So don't let them flare out. And then come down, trying to articulate one vertebrae at a time all the way down to the tailbone. And once you get to the tailbone, come back up. Pause for a moment at the top. And then again, all the way down, slowly articulating the spine to the tailbone. This time, if you'd like, add in the arms. So as you push your hips up, reach up overhead to the mat. Pause for a moment here. And then as you release, those arms slowly come all the way down to the mat as your hips do. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, lift, reach, pause. Exhale, articulate down. Twice more using your own breath. When you're done with that third round, you'll meet me with your hips down on the ground. Lift your right leg up so that it's right over your hip. You can keep your left leg bent for now. And I want you just to keep that leg up over the hip. We're going to pause here. I want you to be in your body feeling what this feels like, okay? You should feel sort of a lightening of the leg as the fluid in your leg begins to drain. So it's not often that we get to have our feet and our legs above the heart. I want you just to feel that sensation in your body in this moment. And again, like if you need a little bit of support to keep that leg up, you can use your hand, you can use a strap, whatever you need to be grounded here. Find that nice full breath. And then release the right leg down. And let's switch sides. Left leg up, so you can use the strap or the hands, whatever you might need. And just keeping those breaths nice and full. And just tuning into that sensation of allowing the fluid in your leg to drain. And then release that left leg. And then just from here, let the knees fall from one side to the other, just a little windshield wipering of the legs. I think most of us will probably need a strap for this next one. I'm gonna flip around. All right, so both legs extend out long on the mat. Take your right leg and lift it up just as we did before. If you cannot grab your toes easily, strap comes in handy. Place it right over the ball of your foot. And then keep the strap in your right hand. And choke that right hand up as close to your foot as you can. Take your left hand and place it on your left thigh. This hand is going to be a reminder to keep your left hip anchored to the ground as we open up our legs. So take this slowly, keep the shoulders down the back and the belly pulled in. Left hip stays anchored as we open up that leg to the right. Pausing for a moment when you get to your full range of motion. That right glute will need to be engaged to help give you support and structure. Coming back up to center. You're going to switch hands now. So your left hand is on the strap. And now you're going to let that leg come across the body. Your right hip will come up off the mat this time. Again, taking this slowly. A little bend in the knee is absolutely acceptable. And then bringing it back through center, grabbing it with your right hand, and just pausing here for a moment. Again, just letting that leg be above the heart. Good, bending that knee, removing the strap. Both feet flat on the ground, windshield wiper. All right, come to stillness, extend both legs out in front of you. So now our left leg is going to come up over our hip. We're going to place the strap right over the toe and then hold it with your left hand, choking up as close to the foot as possible. Take your right hand, place it on your right thigh and hip. That's just that reminder to keep that hip anchored, pull the belly in, and then release that leg out wide. Try not to let those shoulders creep up to the ears. Let go of tension there. Keep that right leg engaged, so pull the kneecap up the leg. And then come back up through center. Switch hands, so now right hand is grabbing the strap. Left hand comes down to the mat. And we cross over the middle. And again, the bent knee is absolutely acceptable here. Left hip will come up off the ground, but try not to fall all the way into this. So keep some structure here. See, keep some toning. Come back through center, change hands, and just pause here for a moment, having that leg above the heart. And then remove the strap, place both feet on the ground, and windshield wiper back and forth. All right, you can move the strap off to the side. We're going to do figure 4. So right ankle onto left knee. Okay, and before we do anything here, I want you to take your right hand to your right knee, pull the belly in so that the low back is anchored to the ground, and then push that knee away from you as you push your tailbone towards the ground and lengthen your spine. So sometimes people feel a pretty big stretch here, sometimes people do not. I'm just giving you the chance to feel that stretch. Then you're going to thread the needle, and again, your strap actually might come in handy for some of you. You can grab the back of your left thigh and pull the left knee towards your chest as you use your right elbow on your right knee to push it away from your chest. So keep your belly in, try not to let your back arch off of the mat. And then pull the shoulders down the back and find some looseness in the neck. And then breathe here. You can straighten your left leg if you like. You can bend it, whichever is feeling more supportive in your body here for this stretch. Remembering to keep the toning in the low belly. And we'll just be here for another 3 or 4 more breaths. Keep your breaths full and slow. And then slowly releasing. And then whatever you want to do in between, if you want to sort of make circles with that hip, or maybe some windshield wipers, or maybe a bridge, you kind of choose that transition before we go to the next side. And then come into stillness, and let's go to the left side now. Left ankle on top of right knee. And first start by pulling in the belly so that the low back is anchored to the ground. Left hand on the left knee. Push that left knee away as you push your tailbone towards the ground. And now thread the needle, grab the back of the thigh, and pull that right knee towards the chest as you push your left knee away from you. If there's any discomfort in the knee joint, take your right or your left foot and flex it. So pull that toe towards the shin. That just helps the knee stay in proper alignment. And then take that tailbone and try to stretch it to the ground. Take some tension out of the shoulders if you can. And then tone your low belly just a bit. And again, you can straighten that right leg if you like. Couple more breaths before we move on. And then slowly coming out of that again, choosing what you'd like to do in your transition, whether it's windshield wipering the knees, coming into a bridge, circling out the leg. We're going to do a supine twist next. So the simplest version of a supine twist would be to open up your arms to a T and let your knees fall to one side. If you'd like a little bit more of a twist, you can start with your left leg up over the right, like you're crossing your legs, and then pick up your hips and shift them more to the left, and then let your knees fall to the right. So that'll make it so your hips are stacking. They're kind of coming into more of a stacking position. And if you've got a wall or something that's blocking your arms, you can cactus your arms. Your left shoulder, try to keep that anchored to the ground. And then maybe you look over the left side. Just settling in here. If you've got a block and you feel like that would be helpful under your knees to help have you be grounded, or a pillow or books or anything, you can use that under your knees if you need. And before we switch sides, just turning the head from side to side, nice and slowly and mindfully. Eyes closed or open, your choice. And then settling in the middle with the head and bringing those knees back up to center and switching sides. So whatever version you took on that side, go ahead and use that same version on the other side. So if you crossed your legs, you'll pick up your hips, shift them a little bit more to the right, and then let your hips fall, or your knees fall to the left. So then those hips are coming into more of a stacking position here. Right shoulder is anchored to the ground. And then again here, just looking back and forth, slowly. And then pause with your gaze over your right arm or your shoulder. And just breathing here for another couple breaths. And then nice and slowly bringing the knees back up to center, uncrossing. We're going to do another round of bridge. So bring those heels into the sit bones. And we're going to pause at the top. So push down through the heels, lift the hips. You may stay here with your hands just reaching towards your heels, or if you'd like to clasp them underneath your back and then roll one shoulder at a time underneath your body, pausing here for a few breaths. So I want you to find that extension in the front hip and engagement posteriorly through the glutes and hamstrings. Again, pull those shoulders down the back and think about having a nice long neck. And then if you interclasp the hands, let go of that interclasp and untuck your shoulders. And again, very mindfully, bring your spine down onto the ground, articulating one vertebrae at a time, all the way to the tailbone. Happy baby. So bring those feet so that they're up towards the ceiling, bend through the knee. You can grab whatever you can grab, actually. I mean, your shins, your toes, your outer edge, your inner edge of your foot, wherever you feel like you can get, great. And then think about keeping those feet flat up to the ceiling, but bending the knees and pulling down with your hands on your feet so that the knees start to come to the outer rib cage, right? And wherever that is for you is great. And then if you'd like to have movement here, you can do a little bit of rocking from side to side. Sometimes that feels good. You can also experiment with maybe straightening one leg at a time, maybe both legs. Think about that tailbone being pulled towards the ground so you have as much spine on the ground as possible. And then think about those shoulders being pulled down the back. And release the feet to the ground. Bring the soles of the feet together in Supta Baddha Konasana. Let the knees fall out wide. Again, if you have blocks or something to put under your knees to sort of create grounding, you may do so here. This is our last shape before we come into Shavasana. So you can feel free to let go of any kind of control over your breath. You can shut down your eyes. And whenever you're ready, you can release one leg at a time. Take up as much room on the mat as you like. Let the feet fall out wide. And I want everybody to inhale fully, all the way to the top. Open mouth, exhale, make a sigh. One more just like that. Inhale. Sigh it out. Seal the lips. And succumb here to stillness. Let gravity pull your body into the mat underneath you. Be present here, but relaxed. Let your body bask in the glory of the movement that you gifted it today. Let your breath, unencumbered, continue to be a through line for your mind and body connection. And just begin to deepen your breath little bits at a time. Obviously, you can stay in Shavasana as long as you like. But take this time to transition slowly, deepening your breath, wiggling out your fingers and toes. And perhaps taking a full body stretch. And then eventually rolling to one side, maybe pausing there just to cultivate a moment of gratitude for yourself. And then slowly and mindfully coming back up into a comfortable seated position. And once you're in that seated position, close your eyes and bring your hands to heart center. It is so nice to be reconnected with you all, and I am grateful to have you guys tune in to this virtual yoga class. And I am incredibly happy to have us, although in different spaces, move and breathe and create energy together. The highest light in me sees and honors and respects the highest light in each of you. Namaste.